everybody, and welcome back to the Thunder and Lightning Gaming News Podcast. I'm Thunder.
And I'm Lightning.
And today will be our E3 wrap-up. So if you listen to the last episode, we talked about all the conferences we were going to watch, what we thought was going to happen, what we were hoping to happen, and then in between these two podcasts, E3 happened. And if you haven't seen us live react, we've live reacted to most of the press conferences, not all of them, because there was like way more than there usually is. But we're gonna talk about some highlights.
And if you're wondering where you can watch us live react to things and play video games, the link to our Twitch is in the description of this video.
Of course, if you'd like to actually be there live, go on the Twitch. But if you missed our E3 stuff and you wanna watch back, that is all on our
all
YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah.
So without further ado, first we had the Jeff Keighley Summer Games kickoff, which was not officially recognized by E3, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But that was, what did you, let's do this. Before we started talking about anything, what did you think of this one? And if you want to...
Is the Summerfest?
Yeah, of the presentation.
This is the one where Chivalry and Elden Rings was initially talked about, right?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Honestly, it might have been the most impressive.
No, I think Chivalry...
Oh, I thought you were just disagreeing with my...
I think, no, that's wrong. I'm going to talk now. No, I think Chivalry was Microsoft. This is where they talked about Elden Ring for sure.
Okay.
This is where they talked about
give me a quick rundown.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Metal Slug Tactics, Jurassic World Evolution 2. They talked about the Death Stranding Director's Cut. There was an Among Us update. There's a Salt and Sanctuary sequel. They talked about Two Point Campus, that Sims-looking game, but that I actually found it as a sequel to a game called 2 Point Hospital. They talked about some new stuff. They talked about some old stuff. They talked about Smite game, Stranger Things coming to Smite.
Right.
There was an interview with Giancarlo Esposito where he jokingly said that his character is not a villain, and the entire internet was like, "What? It's not the what?"
So I'm not going to lie. Nothing, as far as games go, in my personal interest, nothing blew my mind. There was no game this year that I was like, oh my God, I don't believe they made it. I don't believe this is a thing.
The whole
conference.
Okay.
I know that's shitty to say, but that is...
I mean,
not to say everything sucked. That's not the case.
No,
but
hey, we're not... official we're not official news sources. We can be as opinionated as we want.
Right. I mean, that's me. There was nothing that I was unbelievably psyched about.
Yeah.
But this one I enjoyed. I enjoyed Summerfest. Oh, Weezer was there. That was cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was entertained by Summerfest.
That is not... So not only is that game already out, it's not a Weezer game. It just so happens that Weezer's got music in it.
Okay.
I did look that up.
Does the logo utilize their W?
That was only for that performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think he did a good job. I think it was a well produced
I have
conference.
I have a lot of respect for Jeff Keighley and what he does for this industry. If you watch the video, there's a part in the showcase where he basically says Game Awards are back, which is not a surprise. Game Awards were going to happen each year, but he talks about how it's going to be live, in-person event because we're, almost post-COVID times. And you'll see my reaction is genuine. I love Jeff Keighley, and I love that he gets to do this. And because he's not associated with any particular developer, his conferences or whatever you want to call them are really anything goes.
Right. I think that's what I enjoyed about it. There was no.
There were
no limits.
There was no limits. There was also no, bias. It wasn't mostly PlayStation stuff. It was all sorts of stuff. There was indie stuff. There was some Nintendo stuff.
No fake hype.
No fake hype. No, yeah.
I will say, I'm sure I've seen him before, but I didn't remember. But I was like, he seems a little awkward up there. and I realized he's probably never done this not in front of a crowd before.
Game Awards 2020 were all digital.
Okay, well, I don't think I didn't watch those with you 'cause
Right,
we were
right.
in quarantine.
That was where Sephiroth was revealed.
Right. So yeah, I'm not shitting on him at all. I'm
No,
just
of course
saying,
not.
like, I realized halfway through, I was like, there's just probably like no energy.
He also-
he's there by himself.
He also usually has, and I forget her name, I'm so sorry, but he usually always has that IGN woman with him, and it was just him holding down the fort this
Yeah.
time. But no, I mean,
All
you're-
that considered, he did a good job.
oh yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong. Jeff Keighley's, once again, not an insult, no judgment. He's an awkward dude.
Okay.
He always has been. But you know, when it comes to the game industry, he knows what he's talking about. He has the
Oh, yeah.
connections that he's always, bragged that he
No,
has.
he's obviously. I mean, it sounds like he wasn't much more than you or I, and he's climbed his way to.
Yeah.
To
No, I'm.
that.
He was a reporter for, GameSpot. No, not GameSpot. Game Trailers. He was a
Okay.
reporter for Game Trailers. And Game Trailers is since defunct. I think it turned into GameSpot or was like consumed by GameSpot or something like that. But essentially he went with the flow. He sort of worked with IGN for a bit, and now he's been in the industry long enough that he's like doing his own thing. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to be part of G4 or IGN or something
Right.
like that. He's just Jeff Keighley, and we know him. Even if you know him as the guy who is like the curator of these E3 events over the last couple years, but he also always has a bad habit of bragging about how much clout he has and how much like industry heads he knows, but he's telling the truth.
Right.
Like he does know, like he is friends with Reggie. He does go on coffee dates with Hideo Kojima.
Right.
So like all the like stuck up could be viewed as like stuck up bragging he does is like all true.
Yeah.
And that's how he's able to put on such incredible and unexpectedly entertaining E3 events on his own.
Yeah. No, he's built a name for himself. A lot of
Yeah.
respect for that.
No, but this one was good.
Agreed.
I think that
It was a good kickoff too.
Yeah,
Like
it was,
it did get me excited for the week.
It was. That's why I was so adamant about watching it, because I was like, E3's. Of course, they're never gonna officially support this because he did this last year because there was no E3. He was like,
Right.
well, fuck it, I'll do it, and then he did. And then he got to announce fucking Tony Hawk remake or whatever it's called, which is like crazy that he just keeps getting these big names. But no, I mean, Elden Ring is huge.
Yeah.
Not only that it was talked about again, because literally last time it was mentioned, they literally just mentioned it.
It was like 6-7 years ago, right?
Yeah, it had to be E3 2016, I think. Or 15? I don't know. It was a while ago, but they've been... It was after Dark Souls 3, obviously, and after Sekiro. Because this was... No, it was before Sekiro, I think. Because they were like, this is the next big thing we're working on, and it's got George R.R. Martin attached. And then they were completely, absolutely silent. And then the next time we hear about it, a week ago or whatever,
Yeah.
they show gameplay. There's a release date, and it's soon. It's January 2022, which is like really soon for a game like
Mhm.
that. I'm excited that they didn't give up on it, and I'm excited that it actually is coming out, and it looks like a Dark Souls game, which
Well,
the same could not be said about Sekiro. Sekiro definitely had Dark Souls like DNA, but
Yeah.
it was clearly its own thing. This just looks like Dark Souls 4.
I was just gonna say, assuming I have a PS5 by then, I do plan on buying this game, and I've never played a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne, and I
But
am excited
you-
to get into the genre. I've seen them played.
You played Jedi Fallen Order. Is that not a Dark Souls like?
I wouldn't say it seems like a kid's version.
An easy.
Yeah,
easy,
it was
yeah.
a tough game, but like
Right,
from
but
what I've
compared to-
understood,
yeah.
it sounds like it not as hard as these games.
Okay, yeah. I just heard, because Dark Souls like is sort of a term that people are throwing around
Yeah.
nowadays.
I mean, it definitely had elements of what those games have
yeah,
with a Star Wars skin on it.
yeah.
But
To be a Dark Souls game, it needs to be, one, brutally difficult. It needs to 2 have the one mechanic that's from Dark Souls, where every time you kill an enemy, you get points, quote unquote. And if you die once, you lose all those points. If you can get back to where you died, you can pick them up.
Yeah,
but
that's
you have
exactly
to get back
that's
there.
Jedi Fallen Order.
And then the points you have is everything. It's currency. It's how you level up.
So that I don't think it goes. Well, there is no. Yeah. Okay. That. So yeah, it's the same thing, except you can spend those points and level up. And once you level up in Fallen Order, you're leveled up.
Yeah,
So let's say
that's how
I
it
just
works.
leveled up and I have 0 points. I will lose 0 points if I die immediately
Right.
after this.
Yeah, that's how it works in Dark Souls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if those are the only elements that matter, then yeah, it was the same. I wouldn't say it was brutally difficult.
Yeah,
but
that's
it was
the thing.
difficult.
There has to be a push and pull of like, oh no, I was doing so good. I messed up once, I died. Now there's like 15,000 souls, 30 enemies that way, and I don't know if I have the.
No, I mean that. Yeah, I've had moments like that.
Yeah.
In that
All right,
game.
yeah.
I've definitely screwed up. I definitely lost. Well, we'll probably play it eventually. You'll see.
Yeah, I think that's on our list, right?
Yeah.
And then we got Netflix, who didn't talk about games. They talked about game-based TV shows.
Right. Which
Sorry,
we
I'm
are
just trying
excited
to
for a
find-
couple of those.
Yeah, Cuphead. I'm excited for Cuphead.
Resident Evil.
Bunch of Resident Evil stuff happening. Super excited about that. There's an animated movie that's basically out. There's a live-action movie, and then there's a live-action TV show, and the live-action TV show has a completely different cast from the movie, and also, if I may, an almost completely non-white cast, which excited me, because if
Cool.
you've ever played Resident Evil, I think there's one Latino character, and the rest of them are white. So
That sounds right.
So I'm all for some representation in the Resident
Sure.
Evil universe.
Sure.
Because why not? You know?
All new characters.
No.
No, old characters.
Legacy characters
Okay.
that were white and are going to be like black and Latino and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Cool.
Exciting stuff. So Ubisoft, you weren't here to watch it with me, but
I don't think I was there for Netflix either.
I didn't watch Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I just mentioned it because I was scrolling past it.
Okay.
By the way, this article I'm reading is from IGN. I need to give IGN props because for being this E3 being the professional news outlet that I needed them to be, because we're going to talk about Square Enix here in a minute. Everyone hated it for some reason. We'll get to that in a sec. But I saw so many articles, and the title of the article was like, Square Enix shits on the floor. How bad was it? And it's like, I don't care what you thought about it. You are a news outlet. You and I are not news outlets, so we're going to talk about what we thought about it.
Right.
But I'm going to the news site, to get news, not to hear. I don't want to hear how bad it was. I wanted to hear what they
Right.
talked about. And I just want to give props to IGN for doing exactly that. And this is like a super long article because they go over every single press conference.
That's awesome.
And I feel like IGN has dropped the ball in the past, and they haven't this time. So thank you, IGN, for being cool. Ubisoft did a thing. They showed off Rainbow Six, Rocksmith Plus, Riders Republic, Forza Horizon 4, The Crew 2, some Assassin's Creed stuff, some Far Cry stuff, and that new Mario thing, and then the Avatar thing. The Rainbow Six stuff I could honestly not care about. Rainbow Six has been multiplayer for a while, and I guess this new one is their first like big single player thing that they're
okay.
doing in a while. Rocksmith Plus is not actually a game; it's a subscription service that'll teach you how to play guitar.
Right.
Riders Republic looks fine. Riders Republic looks like Steep, except not just snowboarding. It's got like snowboarding and bike riding and skiing and fucking jetpacking and stuff. If you're into that kind of thing, it looked interesting. And then they announced, this was exciting as a longtime fan of video games. They announced that instead of making a new Assassin's Creed, they're just going to support Assassin's Creed Valhalla for another year.
Yeah.
Which is the first time they've ever done that, I'm pretty sure. Like, they were like, I hope you're liking the new expansion. There's another expansion coming up, and they teased it. It's definitely Muspelheim. and Surtur and all that stuff.
That's cool.
And then they were like, there's another expansion where it's basically a history lesson about the area that we chose.
Right.
Lots of cool stuff that I wish Assassin's Creed would do more. And I like that it's weird, though, that to me that this is the one that they had faith in. Like, not 2 or Brotherhood or 4 or 6, this one. I don't know. It's interesting, but I like it. It's a breath of fresh air, I think. And then they didn't announce. They talked about Far Cry 6. People were saying how it looked rough. I thought it looked great.
Okay.
Like you said, they showed Far Cry 6 at something else, and I mean, tell me if you disagree, but it looked just like him, Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. We're talking about that game.
Yeah, I thought it looked
he looked
incredible.
Great. The faces looked great. The dog did not look up to par.
I think I missed the dog.
It was just a super realistic dude's face and then just a cartoon
Oh, no,
dog.
that's right. I do remember that. Yeah, the dog was a little rough. But only because it was put next to the incredible human faces that they got.
Right.
And then they announced that there's going to be like this weird, not related to Far Cry 6 thing where you play as the villains from 3, 4, and 5 for the first time. It looked really weird. Far Cry games, it's funny because my dad was literally talking about this live on Twitch because I watched this with my dad. Far Cry games always take a time to do like a drug trip level where you're like on mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys talking about that.
It seems like this play as the villains thing is just that the whole time. I don't know. It seems weird, but they also announced that Far Cry 6 is going to ship with a copy of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was DLC for Far Cry 3, where it was totally different. You were inside a VHS, and rather than being realistic and stuff, it was like lasers and lightsabers and dragons, and it looked like an 80s depiction of the future and stuff like that. And then Ubisoft announced a new Mario Rabbids game, and it looks great. It has a release date of 2022, which is unfortunate, but it looks great. It looks like they're innovating on the series in the way that you would want them to. And I've said this before, but that first one really good. I waited too long to play it. I should have bought it when it came out because I really ended up liking it. And then they, for some reason, probably because of contracts, they closed the show with this new Avatar game, like Avatar: The Blue People.
Right.
They didn't show gameplay, so who knows? It could be it's probably an open world thing. But it's just the timeline of this one is so weird. Like, I know they're working on more Avatar movies, but like they have been for a while.
I can't wait for those to flop.
Oh, I know. Are
Maybe
you in the same boat as me where you didn't like the first Avatar movie?
I didn't care for the first Avatar movie. Also, they were like, most expensive movie ever. I don't think it is anymore, and I also don't think the other ones are going to top it. So now you can't rely on the fact that the novel aspect that your film's the most expensive film ever made. Now you got to rely on your shitty story.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So enjoy that.
That's the thing. Like, say what you will about the visuals and stuff like that, but like, the story was kind of just a boring Pocahontas retread.
Right, no, exactly.
With a
sci-fi theme.
I'll say it, a boring protagonist and an equally as boring antagonist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily the cinematic universe that I want to explore in an open world game.
Right,
situation
no, exactly.
like that.
I'm definitely not going to see more movies. I definitely don't care about this game.
Right. Because there was an Avatar game back when Avatar came out.
I believe it.
It was the game that started the should every movie have a video game conversation.
Right.
Quite literally.
And that's when one of Chris's favorite genres died.
Well, it's a game we've played on the channel. One of my personal favorite games of all time, Ratchet & Clank, technically a movie tie-in game. But they kind of cheated. It's kind of because it's a remake of the first game, but the movie's the story of the game. So instead of but it's technically a movie tie-in game. It just so happened to have like the most backwards production of any of those.
Right.
There's been, I'll give it to you though. There's some movies.
There's some good ones.
There's some good ones for sure. There's some really shitty ones, but there's some good ones for sure. WALL-E for the Wii is really good. And like I'll say it before you do, the Warriors game is really good.
Yep.
Even especially for coming out like 20 years after the movie came out or something like that.
That game is better than it ever needed to be.
Oh yeah. Well, you got Rockstar doing it, the
Right.
people who make Grand Theft Auto made a Grand Theft Auto game, but in
Right.
the licensed Warriors universe.
I'm never gonna get this, but I would love a sequel to that game that's open world.
Would you? That'd be cool. Would you, if that game got a remaster for whatever reason,
I'd buy it.
would you? Yeah, I was gonna say, would you put down for a limited run games order?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would also like. I would like a remaster. I would like.
Right.
I'd like
Yeah, that
modern
game-
GTA graphics.
Because that game looks. Oh, you're talking about a remake.
Yeah, I guess I am talking about a remake.
I
Well,
could.
no,
I
mean
could
a
honestly.
same game but better graphics. That's not a remake, is
That's
it?
a remake.
Okay.
A remaster would be same graphics, but it looks a little better.
Oh,
Because
okay.
that's what I was like Resident Evil 4. Because that's what I was gonna say. The graphics are fine. They're PS2 graphics, but I could use some lighting fixes,
Right.
if anything.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyways, moving on. We're going to talk about the Xbox and Bethesda showcase.
Yes.
So this one's hilariously enough started with Todd Howard. And he once again talked about Starfield, except they showed it this time, except they didn't because there wasn't any gameplay. I can only assume it's going to look and play exactly like Skyrim and Fallout,
Right.
but in space this time.
Oh yeah, I cannot picture what that game looks like because I feel like they didn't show much of it.
It was just like they just showed like interior space station for a couple moments.
Right. Okay.
There was a big Back for Blood showcase, which
Yes.
is the Left 4 Dead successor that I'm definitely going to get. If it's Xbox exclusive, I will get it now because I
Yeah.
have an Xbox on the way. What did I click on? Okay, we're good. Lots of shooters in this one that we're
Yeah.
probably not going to talk about too much.
Too much cookie cutter. Like just felt like the same trailer over and over again.
It's a hilarious moment in our press conference watching where you're complaining about how Call of Duty ran out of wars and they're going into the future, and then we get the title for the new Battlefield game, and it's like Battlefield 2042, and it's like, oh, they're doing this one too. What we didn't know, the context we didn't have for that, is that that's a sequel to Battlefield 2022, I believe it's called.
Awesome.
Or something like that. This is like their second futuristic one that they're doing.
Cool.
Contraband, new game made by the Just Cause team. Very interesting trailer for Sea of Thieves, which is kind of one of those not great, didn't have a good launch, multiplayer only deals. And it's about pirates, if you don't know. It's made by Rare. And the trailer starts with someone who basically sounded like the witch woman from Pirates 3.
You nailed her name the other day.
Her name's Tia Dalma.
Okay.
And I ever since that character's incarnation, every pirate thing ever has done that character.
Yeah.
So I was like, of course they have that character. But then they started showing locations. We were like, oh, this is pirate. Is this just a big Pirates rip off this game? Because neither of us play this game. And then Jack Sparrow was there, and it's like, oh, it is Pirates. It was very exciting. I'm surprised that Disney would go forward with something like this, but I'm really proud of the people who made Sea of Thieves that they get something like this.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be... If you're a Sea of Thieves fan and you're not a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, I don't know how you did that. But if you're a fan of both, you're probably shitting yourself right now. That's probably like the dream for that game.
No, it's super cool. I mean, I guess I don't know much about this game. Assuming I like this game, I'd be all over that.
Right. It's from what I've heard, it's very collaboration based. Like you couldn't play this game by yourself. You would need a team of friends to play with you. They talked more about 12 Minutes, a game you and I have been excited about for a while. It got an official release date of August 19th. Psychonauts 2, not much new to report there, but it did get a release date of August 25th. Some Fallout 76 stuff. Some new Halo Infinite stuff. Diablo 2 Resurrected.
That looked really cool.
That's already out.
Okay.
I believe it's already out on PC, and what they were announcing was a console release. I was not aware of that.
Okay, me either.
So that looked really good, and I'll probably get it. Because I am a definitely a supporter of Diablo. From what I've played, I really like it, but I obviously never played 2 because they're old PC games.
Yeah.
I would definitely play this one.
Sure, I'd be down.
Slime Rancher 2, Plague Tale Requiem, Atomic Heart. Replaced is that a really cool, like 2D, 16-bit 3D lighting game that we were looking at.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about that. That's like everyone's favorite thing from this press conference. Some new Grounded stuff. A new Eoden Chronicles was announced for 2023 for some reason. Age of Empire 4 finally. There's a lot of stuff in this press conference that we didn't know about because we're not Microsoft fans. Microsoft Flight Simulator has been out for a while. It's coming to consoles though. That's what that announcement was.
Okay. The Flight Simulator and the car one.
Forza Horizon 5.
Yes. They talked for way too long about those.
It was clear that they wanted to showcase graphics rather than the actual game.
And I will say, graphics looked phenomenal. Very excited to be into this new era of hyper-realistic graphics. Did not need a 10-minute slot to talk about them.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm with you. It was kind of a lull, kind of an interesting way to end the press conference.
As I've heard many people say, weird flex, bro. It comes to mind. I say the hip things.
I don't know if I missed it. I don't remember what. Oh, that's right. They ended it with Redfall. Remember that? It was a cinematic trailer for like a vampire, but they were shooting him thing. There was no gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a vampire witch, and she was like casting magic on them and stuff.
Yeah.
That game will probably be fine. Even that game, the one that had like weird vampire magic in it, was very like, oh, it's shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where they talked about Chivalry. I don't think IGN has talked about it, but Chris was introduced to the realm of Chivalry.
I had been introduced to it before, but as a PC game, and
yeah.
I was interested. Then I'm sure I asked my cousin, "Oh, can I get this for my PS2?" And he probably laughed at me.
Well, I have good news for you, friend.
Yeah.
Chivalry 1 and Chivalry 2 are out right now on PS4.
Really?
You could just go buy them. Yeah. Chivalry 2 came out June 8th, literally the other day, like 10 days ago. So you could just...
Even though we just saw the trailer?
Yeah. I think what the context that we didn't have, I think that was a trailer for it's doing good, we're going to make more.
Okay.
But, like, here's a general trailer to, like, buy it. It's out, you know?
Yeah, I'll play that. I'm at the point, though, where it's like, do I hold off till I get a PS5? You know what I mean?
Yes, because that's where I am with a ton of games.
Because I'm sure both of those are on the PS5 as well, if they're going to be on the PS4, right?
I think 2 definitely made it. I'm not sure about 1. It might be. I know that there's a lot of games that like you can play on PS5, but it's still the PS4 version. And then
I'm okay with that too.
There's other games that like we enhanced it. It's the PS5 version. It's $60 again.
Right.
But if you had the PS4 version, you get it for free or whatever.
And it'll suck.
So I'm sure 2 made it. But I'm sure 1 made it too. Now let's talk about...
1 made it 2, 3.
1 made it... What?
You said 1 made it 2, and then I said 3.
Oh. That you... I was like, what are you talking about? Square Enix is next.
Yeah,
we did not stream Square Enix, you and I. We watched it while we ate lunch.
That's right.
I wish we had, because it was really exciting. It was a good press conference. And everyone else hated it.
I mean, I think people are going to hate me for saying this, but my 3 highlights are Summerfest, Square Enix, and Nintendo.
Me too.
Like, those were my 3 favorites. Bethesda Xbox was fine.
It was fine.
It was good.
Ubisoft was fine. If not, Ubisoft is up to their old shit. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just sort of like... The Ubisoft one was exactly what I usually expect from Ubisoft. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is up to you to decide. But I was content. I wasn't wowed, you know?
Yeah. That's a great way of putting what I was trying to say at the beginning. Like, that's kind of how I felt through most of these press conferences.
Yeah. But this one was a standout for sure.
Yeah, I got a lot of good information out of this
Yeah.
one about games I'm looking forward to.
It really felt like people are going to think we're lying. Literally everyone hated this. It really felt like for once Square Enix knew how to make an E3 presentation. It felt like they knew what they should focus on, how long stuff should be focused on for, and it was just a generally good. And people have to, the really judgmental people who are like, it sucked, this E3 sucked, you have to keep in mind that this is the E3 after almost 2-year-long pandemic.
Right. That's why
this E3 was never going to be
spectacular.
E3 2014. You know, it was never going to be the best, the coolest, the greatest E3 ever.
That's why I didn't say anything on stream, and I'm kind of only picking at it now that I wasn't wowed because I didn't expect to be.
Right, exactly. No, the fact that E3 even happened this year is something to be talked about.
Right.
And, like, I'm going to be real. There's Square Enix, and then there's Capcom. Capcom, talk about the presentation all you want. It was fine. Capcom, it was so pointless. Capcom did not need to be here. Square Enix, however, did. They had stuff they needed to talk about. So, let me just go through them like I have been. There was the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Oh, my God. I forgot that was this one. How do you hate this?
Because it was too long, Chris.
It was too long.
It was.
I agree. It was too long. It was also the most hyped,
for
me, the most hyped game out of this whole goddamn week. So sure, give it a 20-minute slot. It was the best game that was talked about.
So Guardians of the Galaxy.
I got excited.
We're gonna talk about all these. Let me just go through the list.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, the new Legend of Mana is still coming out. Marvel's Avengers is getting a bunch of free content in the form of the War for Wakanda
that was
DLC
cool.
pack. They showed off Babylon's Fall, which is the new Platinum Games thing that they've been working on post Nier Automata. They showed off Life is Strange Remastered Collection and Life is Strange 2 Colors, which are two things they've shown off before. They showed off a new Team Ninja game called Stranger of Paradise: A Final Fantasy Origin, which is supposedly a more action-oriented Final Fantasy Dark Souls-like, but it's not just that. It's a remake, a retelling of the first Final Fantasy for NES.
Okay.
That's why the villain was Garland and all that stuff, and he was like, I'm Chaos now, because it's literally Final Fantasy 1. So let's start at the beginning. Guardians of the Galaxy looked awesome. They talked about it for a calendar year, but the more they kept
giving us more information.
Right, I could tell that they did it on purpose, that they have faith in this Guardians of the Galaxy thing, and the more information that comes out about it, the more I'm excited about it. No microtransactions, no DLC. It's just going to be a game. It's going to be a single-player game. The only complaint I could see people having is you can only play as Star-Lord, but to that I say, have you played Final Fantasy 15? Because there's 4 bros in that, and you can only play as one of them, and it's one of my favorite games. It's really good. People don't like that one either for some reason. Square Enix fans in particular are super critical, and I can't stand it because Square Enix makes exceptional video games most of the time. But it looked good. It looked like the decision-based stuff actually had consequences on the story. Which immediately I was like, oh, this is getting a second playthrough for me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It looked really good. It had some. It even had some like D&D inspired stuff. It seemed like.
Yeah. Well, they leveled up. Like a Diablo game or something.
And they they fought a gelatinous cube literally.
Yeah, that's right. How did I forget? They literally fought it. That gelatinous cube seemed really easy compared to the D&D gelatinous cube.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because you're right, they started fighting that thing and I was like, oh, that is a gelatinous cube. Who is going to stop this gelatinous cube?
Right. Well, it's Groot. Groot's going to do it. Yeah.
Groot, if it was a D&D gelatinous cube, Groot would be the first one dead. Like, there's nothing he can do to stop that cube.
Unless your Groot is equipped with, like, a sword or something.
A sword, but even a sword, like, you gotta find some way to heat it up or something.
Yeah, you gotta, gelatinous cubes are almost like a puzzle within a combat within a game. Anyways, so the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, I was initially excited for this. It's only coming to Steam and mobile, which does suck, but that told me that it'll be on Switch eventually, because they'll do that sometimes. What does suck, what they didn't tell us in the press conference, and what is unfortunate, is that it's not a bundle of all 6. It's 6 individual purchases.
Oh.
So it's probably going to be $20 for each one.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to boost it up to $30 for 4 through 6, then people wouldn't complain about that. But I will complain that it's not a bundle.
Yeah.
But, like, and also they didn't show gameplay. This might be, forget the fact that it's only on phones and Steam right now, this might be the optimal way to play these old-ass Final Fantasy games.
Right.
They showed off Legend of Mana again. I could not care less about that series. It looks fine. Each Mana game is a different sort of game. This one, like the last one was like a 3D behind the back, like almost looked like Dragon Quest XI a bit. But this one, as you saw, is like a 16-bit dungeon crawl thing.
Yeah.
They're just all different types of games, and that's pretty cool. But I don't play them.
Right.
So I want you to talk about the Marvel stuff, because you're the only one of the two of us that actually plays Marvel Avengers, or played at least.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that far in the game. It got very repetitive very early, and me saying that has gotten very repetitive on this channel, but I will give it another shot. I mean, any DLC of this caliber
that's free
is exciting. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I'll tune back in with that game.
And
it could also be the fact that I'm playing it on a PS4. I don't know. Like, it's gotten to the point where there's these games that come out, and they run shitty, and
oh, I see what you're saying, rather than a PS5 or a PS Pro.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I had an issue with Spider-Man,
Yep.
but then Red Dead Redemption 2, a game so involved that the horse's testicles can shrivel. No issues. I had no issues running Red Dead 2. Did I say 4? I meant 2.
I have an issue with Red Dead 2. It's that the horse's testicles react to cold weather. That's my issue with it.
I don't understand. So I am gonna give. I think I've been waiting for a PS5 to give a Marvel or Avengers another chance, because the story seemed interesting. I was
Yeah.
invested in the story. It just got so repetitive.
Combat-wise, right?
Combat, yeah, it was
Yeah.
just all the same. It just felt like button mashing,
Yeah.
and there was nothing else going on, and that was the game. What else were we? So the DLC seems cool. The
And
fact
it
that
is-
it's free is incredible.
And Black Panther is a good get,
Oh yeah,
because if you've noticed the cast of that Avengers game, there's Kamala Khan and a bunch of white people.
yeah,
So the fact that they're not only adding Black Panther, but an entire Wakanda thing,
right.
and it looks like you're gonna like fight Comic Claw and
I
all
mean,
this stuff. It looked cool.
he's also the thing to get because of everything
Yes.
that's happened.
Yeah.
Also, more integrity than them. They could have charged out the nose for that.
Right. Yeah.
Been like, well, this is the Black Panther one, so
Yeah.
hand over your wallets and nobody gets hurt.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Forrest Gump said.
Babylon's Fall looked fine. Platinum usually does a good game, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Life is Strange Remastered, I'm obviously going to get it because I love Life is Strange 1.
This is a series I'm relatively new to, and I've probably seen the other two, and they just went over my head. This one caught my eye, and this is
True Colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is I'm really looking forward to this, and I want to play it on the channel.
I think that they know that 2 sucked and no one liked it, because
Okay.
if you'll notice, Life is Strange is called Life is Strange, and then the prequel is called Life is Strange Before the Storm. Life is Strange 3 is called Life is Strange True Colors, but Life is Strange 2 was called Life is Strange 2. So I don't even think they want to associate with the fact that like they could have called this Life is Strange 3 True
Right.
Colors, but they didn't. So I think they just completely want to
Gotcha.
disassociate themselves with the second one.
Okay.
The first Life is Strange is very good, and I like it a lot.
Cool.
It came out at a time where Telltale was hot shit, and everyone was like, "Oh, the Walking Dead game, it's so good. There's a Batman one now. There's a Game of Thrones one." And then Square Enix and Don't Nod came out, and they were like, "This is our version," and it was like sort of way better, and I like it a lot. And the art style is great, and it's good. It's great. We should. What I'm saying is, if we're gonna play 3, we should play 1 also.
Okay.
But 3 also looks really good. They showed off some more gameplay stuff. They turned the emotion of empathy into a superpower.
Yeah,
And
that was
it's
crazy.
It sounds just as cool as it looks visually.
Yeah. Oh, it's an
Um,
interesting game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too, for sure. And one of the streamers I watch, Katie Bentz, she's going to be in it.
Oh, cool.
She's going to voice act in it. And then they talked about Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy Origin, which I thought looked great, but everyone keeps shitting on. They keep talking about how it's like too violent and gory, and that's not what Final Fantasy is about. And no one will shut up about how the main character looks stupid because his 2 friends were like dressed like Final Fantasy characters.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just in like a shirt. But like that said to me that he's gonna be a creative character. Like you're gonna have different armors for him and
Right.
stuff. And they just like don't have that figured out yet. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal when the game finally comes out.
Right.
And I have a feeling that everyone's going to love this game, and all the hate it's getting from E3 is going to just simmer away. Also, there's like a 2-hour demo of it right now that I could play if I had a PS5, but I
Mhm.
don't.
If
So that
I
looks,
had one.
yeah. So I don't know what people's deal was. I mean, I do know because they won't stop vocalizing it, but I disagree. I think Square Enix had, I think they had a great press conference, and I don't know what everyone's beefing about. So the indie showcase, not going to talk about it too much. I watched it by myself. It was only 15 minutes long. It's not in the same canon as the games you played, but there is a new Toy Soldiers game coming out.
Oh, no way.
It's not Army Men, but it's like
Oh.
it's an army. It's army versus army, but they're toys, and you're playing in a toy box. It looked interesting.
That's exciting for me.
It's just called Toy Soldiers. Oh, and I'm finding out now that it is an HD remake of something else. There was a space game where you play as cows, and it was called Moolander instead of Moonlander.
Oh.
I will, however, talk for a moment about Neko Ghost Jump, which I literally have a magnet of right here.
That's what that's from?
Yeah, it's a game. It's essentially based off of Super Paper Mario. The way it works is you're jumping in 2D, you're playing a Mario game, and then you get to something that you just can't get by. You click a button, and it shifts, and now you're in 3D, and you're looking at the character's back.
Oh, okay.
And the whole game is set up like that. I played a demo of it at PAX 2019. It was rough, but it showed potential, and it's finally coming out. And I'm excited for it.
That's
That's
cool.
all I have to say about the indie showcase. Capcom, I don't know why they had a thing. They didn't say anything. They talked about Resident Evil. They talked about Ace Attorney. They talked about Monster Hunter. They talked about esports. The only news they dropped was the words Resident Evil 8 DLC. They didn't show any of it. They literally just said, we're starting working on it.
Cool.
I don't know why they showed up. I was very bored watching it. My stream crashed. Let's talk about Nintendo.
Okay.
So Nintendo, also the Bandai Namco thing was literally nothing. Like 15 minutes before the Bandai Namco thing happened, they changed the name of it to the Bandai Namco House of Ashes dev interview. And it was that horror game that I was telling you about with Ashley Tisdale in it. That's like, there's going to be one each year.
Yeah.
It was just a 15-minute interview with one of the guys who makes that game, and that was it. That was their whole thing. So it was literally nothing.
Okay.
But Nintendo started off very strong. They announced a new Smash character. It was Kazuya Mishima from Tekken. One that was on nobody's radar, but one that really makes sense when you think about it.
Right.
There's already Tekken shit in Smash Ultimate.
Right.
Which, who knows how well that bodes for the
final
next
one.
one. Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, I don't know. It could be Halo, dude, but I think that is too much Microsoft in Smash Brothers, in
Also,
my opinion.
they already have why can't I think of it? Samus. They have Samus, and
Yeah.
I feel like that would be. I guess they don't care about that at this point. There's 70-something characters.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, he resembles Samus. Get over it. But
No,
like,
but I do agree. I don't know what Master Chief would bring to the
table,
but
yeah.
also I was thinking about it like this. You got Fallout, you got Skyrim, you got Cuphead, you got Banjo-Kazooie, and you got Minecraft, Steve. That's all Microsoft.
oh,
If there's another Microsoft thing, I think that's too much Microsoft. Because Namco literally just got its second rep with Kazuya. It's Pac-Man and Kazuya.
yeah,
So, I don't know. They announced that both Life is Strange games, the remastered collection and True Colors, are coming to Switch, which is fun. They tricked me. I thought they were announcing like a TV show or something. With that animation they showed, because it was an animation. I didn't want to say anything just in case I was wrong, but as soon as the train started, I was like, is this Life is Strange? And it was, but it was the characters from 1 and the character from 3. But then they were just like, it was an announcement trailer for these games coming to Switch, but I was just like, well, why the animation? It was
Right.
interesting. They announced a new Super Monkey Ball called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, but it's not new. It's a remake of 1, 2, and 3, which is super exciting. Monkey Ball's been pretty dead. Recently, they did a remake of Banana Blitz, which is the Wii one that no one liked.
yeah.
And the reason most people don't like it is because it's way too easy. And it looks like these are a more faithful recreation of the old ones. Last time Sega used the term Mania was for Sonic Mania, and Sonic Mania was a collection of old and new stages with some like a little remixed, as they called them. So I'm very excited for this one. They announced Mario Party Superstars, which everyone, myself included, thought was DLC for Super
Right.
Mario Party, but
Right.
it is in fact a new thing. It's going to be old stages, old mini games. It looks great. It's coming out the 29th of October. Can't wait for that. The new Mario Parties are made by the team who made 51 Clubhouse Games or whatever it's called, and they really know polish when it comes to games like this. They talked about a new 2D Metroid game called Metroid Dread.
That's
the
right.
First 2D Metroid game in, I think they said 19 years. It is a sequel to Metroid Fusion. And it's basically done, and it's coming out the 8th, and it looks phenomenal. It looks so good. Talked about Mario Golf, Monster Hunter, no one cares. There's a new WarioWare. Once
That's
again,
right.
after like 10 or something years, a brand new WarioWare. It looked like... So the way WarioWare works is they're micro mini games. So you have about 3 seconds to solve this mini game, and then it's going to go
Oh.
to a new one. It looked as though the next one was not only going to be optional versus, like 2-player, but it looked like there was going to be different playable characters, and they all do different things, which is like the next step up in complication. Because WarioWare was a Game Boy Advance game, and then when the DS came, they were like, "Oh, this is the one where you touch," you know.
Right.
So they all, and then the Wii comes out and they have motion control. So it's always been the thing that's like, we're gonna make WarioWare again, except this time you interact with it differently because Nintendo makes weird ass consoles.
Right.
And it seems like this one's a back to roots, except each character's gonna do something different, which is not like a thing that's been in that series yet. It looked really interesting. It looked like one of those games where I'm just gonna have to play it to see if it's good or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
They talked extensively about Shin Megami Tensei 5. Not a fan personally. They talked about Danganronpa Decadence, but they also talked about how every Danganronpa game is going to be on Switch. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. I thought it was a remake. It's actually a new Fatal Frame game.
Oh, okay.
Possibly the clunkiest title of all time, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp
Oh, yeah.
is going to be a complete remake of the first 2 Advance Wars games being made by WayForward. That's probably also going to be really good. And then they announced a bunch of stuff that's on other stuff, Doom Eternal, Tony Hawk, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They also talked about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So what they didn't announce in the Nintendo Direct is that Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is not actually coming to Switch. It's the cloud version. So they'll do this sometimes. The way it works is you essentially, instead of purchasing the game, you purchase the rights to the game, and the way it runs is you stream the game from a third-party server to your Switch. So your Switch isn't actually the hardware running the game. It's just essentially running a live stream of the game that you get to control.
That sounds ridiculous.
It is. They've done it a few different times. They're doing it again with the new Plague Tales game. They did it with Resident Evil 7. The game's going to look and play terribly if you play it like this.
No kidding.
Don't play it like this. Don't support Nintendo's weird cloud storage, cloud version bullshit. And don't waste your money on a game that you won't own.
Right.
So that I was excited for that, but I was a little like, that's going to run on this? Huh? Is it going to run? But no, it's in fact not going to run. And then Zelda stuff.
Yeah.
According to this article, I feel like I forgot something, but probably not. They announced that Hyrule Warriors DLC is still coming out, so good for people who play that game. They announced a Zelda Game & Watch, which is interesting. The Mario Game & Watch had Mario and a clock. It seems like the Zelda Game & Watch is going to be much more feature complete. It's going to have The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2 Link's Adventure, and Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, but it's also going to have a clock, and you can play the clock, which seemed interesting. That seems cool, but it did unfortunately come with the announcement that's all they're doing for the Zelda 35th anniversary.
Which is ridiculous.
They're re-releasing Skyward Sword, which now that I've seen the second Breath of the Wild sequel trailer, I know why they're re-releasing Skyward Sword. But it's really a slap in the face to Nintendo's second biggest franchise of all time.
Absolutely.
Especially because their first biggest, Mario, got a huge 35th anniversary event last year.
It really shows you who the favorite is.
Yeah, I guess so. Or honestly, it probably just shows how hard at work they are at Zelda, that they have no time to focus on anything.
Yeah, that could be the case too.
But they showed another trailer for the Breath of the Wild sequel, and there's some Skyward Sword ass shit up in there. They're expanding the map to the skies above Hyrule, which is exciting. There was some cool time travel shit, like there always is in Zelda games. He sent a thing back in time and killed some enemies with it. He turned into goop and went through the floor at one point. I don't know. There was some cool time displacement stuff.
Yeah, he has a Gooigi.
Jesus Christ. Just call it Gooigi and put Gooigi. I don't care if the lighting doesn't match up. Just put Gooigi in everything.
And so they're hard at work at all this Zelda stuff. Meanwhile, Mario Kart 9 is nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
never going to come out.
Both of our big brain predictions didn't come true. I said one Smash character at Summer Games Fest, one at Nintendo, and that did not happen. You said Mario Kart 9. That did not happen. I was honestly kind of not disappointed, but I was surprised. I feel like it's time.
At this point, I feel like it's officially weird.
Do you think that it's because of Mario Golf? Do you think that Mario Golf, they want that to come out first, then the next Mario sports game they push is going to be 9?
Maybe. Let's put it this way. Let's say I'm the average 26-year-old.
Okay.
And I haven't played... I have a loose grasp on what video games are doing.
Okay.
I feel like if I was even that version of me, I'd also be like, I know they come out with Mario Karts a lot. I feel like they haven't had a Mario Kart in a long time.
No, that's a good point, and they really haven't. They're really... Yeah, I don't know. Either they're planning something huge that's taking forever, or they just really have faith in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I mean, they've already proven that they have faith in that game. It's because they haven't made one
since it released in 2014 and then again in 2018.
Yeah,
and now it's 2020, almost 2022, and we still don't have a Mario Kart.
It's got to be the longest they've ever gone.
Yes,
between Mario Karts.
Oh yeah, for
sure.
Sure.
And it's weird now. I love Mario Kart.
Yeah,
I love Mario Kart more than I love Smash.
The fact of the matter is, I'm hesitant to agree with you.
No, you don't have to.
No, no, I know,
I
I'm
I'm the
just-
odd man out.
No. I'm like, I say that because I'm like, I'm almost there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
No, I know that's not.
do you want to know what would elevate it?
Oh,
If Smash characters were in the Mario, just
Well,
put it in the dang thing. Just do it. Just
maybe
put the
that's
characters in the thing.
maybe that's why it's taking.
That's
so
what I'm
long.
saying. Maybe the next one's going to be so big and have so many different like IPs in it that it needs to take this long.
Which I guess will be forgivable, but they can do what fucking every other company does. Just tell us it's on the way.
yeah.
Just say you'll get it when you fucking get it.
Maybe they're like upset at themselves over, Star Fox Zero and Metroid Prime 2 and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 like getting delays and not like them announcing them so far before
Yeah.
they show up that they're like just don't, cuz everything they announced is basically done,
Right.
the new Mario Party game is basically out. The new Monkey Ball game is basically out. The new Metroid game is basically out, and those is the first time hearing about any of those. Another thing that was unfortunately absent from the Nintendo press conference was Animal Crossing.
Yes.
So there was an interview, and I believe it was an IGN interview with Doug Bowser, CEO of Nintendo of America. Still feels weird saying that after not saying Reggie Fils-Aimé's name. But he specifically said that he knows that Animal Crossing was absent from the Direct. They are working on this is his wording, new ways to engage in activities in
Okay.
Animal Crossing. So it seems like there's going to be a little bit more than the like it's different seasonal items. Like it seems like there's going to be some sort of content update soon.
Okay.
Whether it'll be huge or not, who knows, but it seems like it's going to be a little bigger than the usual like it's Halloween again, remember? So that I'm hesitantly excited about that. It's got to be big
Mm-hmm.
to draw me back in at this point, because I'm on to other stuff, and occasionally I'll think about how much weeds are in my town right now, and if I want to turn the game on, it's going to be weed time.
Right.
But yeah, that was also they didn't announce a console, which like everyone was like certain they were going to do. Everyone was like leaking a new console and talking about how there's definitely going to be a new console. And honestly, if they were going to do like a Switch Pro or a new Switch or whatever they want to call it, it feels like it's time for that too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're waiting for Mario Kart 9. The fact of the matter is, every single Nintendo console since the Super Nintendo, handheld or not, has had a Mario Kart game.
Yep.
And the Switch doesn't have one yet. 8 doesn't
Yes.
count. It's a remake. It's a
Mhm.
remaster of
Agreed.
the Wii U Mario Kart game. So you can't. I mean, they don't have to, but if there's going to be a Switch one, we're not going to look back at history of Nintendo games and be like, oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the Switch one. It wasn't. It
No.
just happened to be on Switch.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
Fantastic game. I
Yes.
love Mario
Oh,
Kart
yeah.
8.
And I would say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, better version of that game than the Wii U version.
Oh, I'm sure. I think I only know Deluxe. But,
You and I would play the old version a bit,
okay.
but you actually own Deluxe and like almost 100%ed it,
yeah.
pretty much. But no, it's just more feature complete. It's got all the DLC already in it. It's got
Yep.
new characters, some returning that people were like, why weren't they in the original? And they're back, which is exciting, like Dry Bones. And it also has some Smash Brothers shit in there. It's got Splatoon, Animal Crossing, and a
Yeah.
bunch of Zelda. And some Captain Falcon stuff. It's definitely a better game. It's just the same game.
Right.
We don't have Mario Kart Switch yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We also don't have whatever comes after Mario Odyssey next.
Yeah, I feel like that isn't weird yet.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, we're definitely I mean, especially because they did Super Mario Party, and now they're doing the golf game and a new Mario Party game. It definitely seems like we're in like the realm and the 35th anniversary stuff, which was just a re-release of 3 other ones.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like we're in the era in between Odyssey and whatever comes next. I think one of the two, man. I think that the next Mario or the next Mario Kart gets announced by next E3. I think that's what's next for Mario.
I hope so. I just said that so loud.
Because it seems like they're really trying to push Mario Golf Super Rush. And listen, I'm all here for it. I'm super excited for it. I'm going to buy it. But if that's what we're waiting for, if we're waiting for that to be out and sold and see how its sales do before we announce the next Mario Kart, then just lay it on me. You know, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm here for it.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for Smash Brothers to be over before they do Mario Kart. I don't know. It seems like you're not alone in thinking that it definitely seems like it's Mario Kart time.
Yeah.
But it's not Mario Kart time. So, you know.
We'll see.
And then that just leaves limited run games to talk about briefly. It was
Sure.
a weird conference. It was a weird event. Limited run games is very weird, and they do very weird press conferences. So I didn't quite have a great time watching it. Besides that, though, the games they showed off were pretty cool. Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Cool Patrol getting a physical. Every Shantae game getting a physical. River City Girls 2 coming out and also getting a physical. The game that they ended it with, called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, literally never heard of it. I looked it up briefly. Apparently it's a FMV, so like Night Trap. It's an FMV visual novel dating sim murder mystery. And you'd think that I would have heard about this.
Right.
But me of all people, but I just haven't. But, you know, it's obviously got a cult enough following that Limited Run Games is doing it. Lots of cool first-party stuff that Limited Run Games is getting. That
Yeah.
Castlevania stuff. They are, for the first time, releasing Castlevania Dracula X, which is the American version of Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which is the prequel to Symphony of the Night. They're, for the first time ever, releasing it localized in English on the TurboGrafx 64 CD, which is the original console that it should have come out on, but it never made it to the States.
Wow.
I don't know literally fuck all about the TurboGrafx 64 CD, and I know no one who has it, but like that's really cool. That's like a piece of history that they get to like have all to themselves. Like this game wasn't. That's like if Mother 3 came out finally localized on the Game Boy Advance cartridge, and they were like, "We're doing it." It's just cool. Limited Run Games is cool. I support their cause. I've bought many games from them. I love their forever physical motto. I just wish they had a normal ass press conference and not whatever the hell. Their press conference was glitching.
Intentionally.
It was like that was the joke, is that they had a shitty press conference. But my stream was also glitching, not as a joke.
Right.
So it was really not cool. It made for a stressful watch. But the games they announced, I was very excited for. And I'm glad we streamed it because it has the most views out of all of them for some reason on YouTube. I think we're the only people who gave a shit, honestly. But yeah, so overall, so E3 is not a competition. That being said, who do you think won?
People are going to hate me. They're going to hate me.
Yeah.
Square Enix. They had the best game announcement. The game I'm hyped for the most, they announced.
Square Enix was good. I will say I personally think Nintendo still had the better presentation. But like I'm right there with you. Like Square Enix is definitely number 2. And like
I mean, who had the smoothest conference? I would say Nintendo or Summerfest.
Yeah.
But what one was I most hyped about? I think I'd have to say that one.
And I'd say Nintendo because they hit us with a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
And a bunch of surprises that I was looking forward to and immediately pre-ordered. And I mean, like, say are the best, the game that we're most excited for on 3-1-2-3 Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had the game I was most hyped about. They also mentioned a couple others I'm interested in. They gave me the most out of anybody as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Summerfest gave me 2. They gave me Chivalry 2, and they gave me Elden Ring.
And oh no, never mind.
And Nintendo gave me the Nintendo stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I expected it. I actually expected a little more
See,
out of it.
I think this is why you and I really appreciated the Square Enix press conference, because a lot of them were exactly what you'd expect. Microsoft/Bethesda did basically exactly what you expected, even though it was technically a new thing they were trying out, having both of them in one.
Yeah.
Ubisoft was basically what you expect. Nintendo had a pretty standard Nintendo press conference.
Yeah.
But the Square Enix one, I'll say it again, for the first time in a couple years, like 10 or 11 press conferences, at streaming events, whatever you want to call them, it felt like they finally knew what they had, what they needed to show, how they needed to show it, and it felt like they knew how to run an E3 conference. Because Square Enix is usually bottom of the barrel, usually the most boring, the weirdest, they forgot to translate part of it for some reason. It's always bad. Or they have Final Fantasy VII Remake, but Sony got to announce it the night before.
Right.
And they didn't show anything new. They just showed the same trailer again.
And it's so funny that it's the one we didn't stream.
Yeah. I assumed it was going to be horse shit.
Yeah.
Because it always is. I was like, what are they going to show? Not Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest's 35th anniversary stream was like last week, and it was great. And there's a bunch of cool Dragon Quest stuff coming out, but they're not going to talk about that at this thing.
Not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Why would there be a Guardians? Yeah. No, it was. I think that's why I was so excited. Guardians of the Galaxy was wholly unexpected. It's not being made by the people who made the Avengers game. It's being made by
Right.
I forget exactly who, but it's being made by a different company, but it's being published by Square Enix.
Which is funny because the same people who make the Avengers make the Spider-Man game, right?
No.
No, that's also a different company.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that one's not even Square Enix. That one's Insomniac is making Spider-Man.
Damn, so we're doing
This is now a third developer that got a Marvel property.
No, video games are doing to Marvel what the mid-2000s films did to Marvel.
Yeah, except I'd argue they're doing it a little better this time.
Oh yeah, they're doing it better.
Assuming Guardians of the Galaxy is good. It looked good. It could be bad, but I don't think it will be. I have a lot of faith in that game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And fuck me if I don't have a PS5 by then. 'Cause good Christ, I thought I'd have one by now. But yeah, that I really good E3. I really enjoyed it. There was obviously some lows. There was some highs. There was some boring, but there was an equal amount of exciting. I feel like sometimes I'm like, I don't know, there's like 2 or 3 things I'm excited about. It was kind of boring this year, but it was very balanced. There was some stuff I didn't care about. There was some stuff I really did care about. I think it was good. I enjoyed E3 2021. I enjoyed streaming it with you. I enjoyed streaming it with our chat.
Me too.
If you watch our Nintendo video, there's a big long outro at the end where we talk about the whole week and the experience and how much fun we had. So go check that out. Just like with last week, this podcast has been going long, so we're not going to do our segment, but we will definitely do it next week.
Yep.
Our new segment where we create a game on the fly. And that'll do it for us. Thank you for listening, and I don't say much more, right? Everything else is... I don't have to talk about Twitch.
No, that's all in the outro.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Then until next time, I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
And take it easy, guys. Thank you for listening and watching. And if you like what you see, please be sure to subscribe.
Our channel is daily uploads from podcasts to video essays, let's plays to skits.
Be sure to find us on Twitch and Patreon.
Our theme song is Sunny Day by Froggy and the Friendship, and our Let's Play intro is Sunny Bit by the same band.
Link to all these in the description below. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.